All right, guys. So, you guys know that I am in a professional development today. So that means that I have to be out of the classroom, but I'm still working on good stuff for my teaching to ultimately benefit kids like you. So, at any rate, thanks for dealing with it. We're going to go ahead today with sessions 3 and 4. I'm combining these two because they both talk about this word right here that we've got, archetypes. We've talked about that a little bit in class. I know we referenced it when I went over the Wally sheet. But archetypes basically just means like a stereotypical character. And once we get into some of the examples today, you will definitely understand what I'm talking about because it's something that's kind of like an age old, I don't know, age old kind of thing they do in any sort of books or movies or even TV shows, stuff like that. All right, so combining these two, that means we have two different teaching points. You're going to see a lot of overlapping here, but I also wanted you to notice the things that were different about them and what made them stand out from each other. So this first one here says, when reading dystopian novels, readers keep in mind that the characters are often archetypes. Knowing this leads readers to predict what will happen in the story and to understand why things happen as they do. Okay, so I think I used the example in class the one day about how, rarely do you ever see a jock type of character portrayed in literature or, television movies that isn't really like into winning. You don't ever see the jock who's like, whatever, I'm just happy everybody had fun. Like that's just not a characteristic. So if you know that a kid in the movie that you're watching is showing jock like qualities, whatever that might be, you might be able to predict what is going to happen later on in the story, more so just based on what you know about that particular archetype. All right, so the second one here says, oh, I lost my sweet little floaty thing. Readers think about how characters may fit more than one archetype and how they do and do not fit the archetypes. By doing this kind of thinking, readers can come to know the characters better. So this has a lot to do. This follows the same type of idea that I was talking about in our session 2 the other day, when we specifically were talking with how a lot of times just the actual thought process of organizing characters, kind of into their power rankings and stuff like that. Like considering, oh, they could go here or they could go here. Just by having that thought in your brain, you are literally having the type of thinking that we're talking about exactly here. Kind of just mulling those ideas over and considering it from every angle means that you are taking on every possible meaning that character could have, I guess I'll say. So at any rate, both of these going together, with first one, we're talking about identifying the archetype and then being able to predict and understand. Then you've got the second one where it's talking more about the fact that like maybe sometimes you see them fitting into more than one area, or then things that they do not fit at all, might also tell you things as well. All right. So, school archetypes. This is kind of what I was talking about, guys. A lot of times you've got the bully, and then you've got the jock, and then you've got the shy kid, and the rule follower, and the artist. I don't know why I just said artist, but I did. At any rate, so I know that all of us have an idea in our head about what each of these might look like or might act like. And we may not all have the exact same idea. It might have something to do more with like our experience in life. But the general outline, the foundation for the character is there. We all know a lot of different things about the bully. A lot of times when we see a bully being portrayed, we might even see a bully being showing this because they need to feel better about themselves. A lot of times that's how those bullying situations end up in TV, movie, literature, whatever we're talking about with these archetypes and these characters, these fictional characters is what we're talking about. Really hate how thin that is, so we're going to go like this. So I want you to remember, this is for fictional characters. And we're going to be following a lot of stereotypes. Okay. So looking here, then maybe we might go back to do, the jock. We've already talked about likes to win. Competitive, I guess is the right word for that. A lot of times is strong, right? Maybe handsome. The shy kid. A lot of times the shy kid might be like what is considered a nerd or a computer geek. Remember, stereotypes, people. I'm so not saying we're just going to start labeling people in these ways, because I think that's the one of the qualities that make it a fictional character, is that we can put them in these little boxes. Realistically, people don't fit into these boxes. That's not how life works. Everybody's kind of all over the place, Anyway, so the shy kid, oh my goodness, I just dropped my Apple Pencil literally like far, far away from me. I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay, there it is. So the shy kid, also maybe they wear black, right? I don't know, try to blend in, right? Get picked on a lot. Maybe they're the target. The rule follower always has straight A's. Usually is a know-it-all too. Right? Teacher's pet, probably. Everybody knows exactly who we're talking about in these characters and things. The artists, they might wear black too. Oops, I don't have the right to. I'm thinking maybe music. Music has something to do with this person somewhat. Maybe somewhat of an outcast. Also might be shy. I don't know. A lot of things that I think of when I see these different archetypes. Maybe you guys have some other ideas that you want to throw down there too. I just think it's important, though, for us to kind of recognize. I know that even if we don't say the exact same things, a lot of the things that we're going to say when we think about these different archetypes, these different fictional character stereotypes, those are the things that are going to make us kind of know and expect what we see coming in a story. A couple other archetypes that we see more likely in dystopian fiction. We've got the hero, who is often brave and resourceful. The brave and resourceful leader, my bad, often fights against the unfair rules of the establishment. The sidekick is usually the person who's right there with the hero, obviously. The anti-hero usually is that person that you don't think is going to be the hero, but then ends up kind of like having hero-esque qualities in the end and kind of pulls it out of nowhere. The villain, obviously, we know who that is. The mentor is usually somebody that the hero's going to probably get some advice from and try to like even become a better hero. And then a lot of times there's also a mother figure, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be a woman or a mom or anything like that. A really good example of that is the guy, I think his name's Haymitch. I don't know. I haven't read it in so long. But in The Hunger Games, the guy who kind of always is there with Katniss and training her and stuff would be considered a mother figure in that story. But yeah, you guys, considering these ideas and considering these different definitions, I want you guys to ask yourself these 3 questions whenever you meet a character in a dystopian story. I want you to ask which one of these archetypes is best fitting the character in your novel, okay? Like, you need to look through and you need to kind of consider who is going to be like the actual hero here. I think right now, as we're going through the compound, I could make an argument to say that Eli is at least trying to be the hero, right? He's trying to find more information and trying to go against kind of the norm, which is that they've always followed what Dad says and never really questioned him. So at any rate, I could make an argument for that. You could also say, though, that he, shows some anti-hero-like qualities just in the fact that nobody's really expecting him to do anything great because he isn't really a great guy in most of the things that we've seen so far. But that would kind of move us into the number 2 where it says, do they have like these overlapping qualities? Are they more than one of these archetypes? And then also I want you to like see like what are they not fitting into? When I look at this list and I think of a mentor, I don't think Eli is a mentor at all. He's actively avoided his sisters down there in the compound, it sounds like, especially Therese. And he's definitely not going out of his way to try to like help them through their experience. So I would say that tells us something even more about him. You know what I'm saying? Is that he doesn't display those qualities of being a mentor and helping his sisters out while they're down there underground for 6+ years. All right, guys, so that's the type of thinking we're looking for. Hopefully we're able to model that pretty well without me there. A couple other things. These are just some ideas for you as you're going through. I want you to use these ideas to really pick apart the characters in the compound when you're writing ideas down for your element sheet and when you're writing in your reader's notebooks. I want you to use all of these things. All right, so looking at this with our Barbara, Sunny, Top Girl, Other Girls, Star Blossom, and the Ponies. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and let you guys kind of brainstorm some ideas for this. Start just like choose a character. Like if you choose Top Girl and you look through here and you start recognizing Top Girl is definitely not a hero. Nobody's going to call her that. And you look at the qualities of that hero and you realize that tells us that, Top Girl is not a brave and resourceful leader and she's not fighting against something that's unfair. Like that tells us something about her. She's definitely gonna give me more like villain vibes over here just because she is the one who kind of pushed the agenda of everything and had the party at her house and everything. But then maybe you could almost even say that she might be the mother figure because she kind of is ushering the next generation into the thing that is normal to all of them, because remember, we got to suspend our judgment. Might be normal. So guys, take a little bit of time right now. I'm going to have the guest teacher pause the video, or if you're watching this on your own, just go ahead and pause the video. Jot some ideas down in your notes. Maybe take a girl or two or one of the characters or groups of characters and kind of just plop them around there. See where they go. Have those thoughts about, where do they fit? Where do they overlap? And where do they not fit? Really start to ask yourself that. So I'll have you guys pause right there. And hopefully you guys had good ideas you were able to jot down there. We can share those with each other. I do want to notice, guys, again, same thing we've been adding to. I've added down these archetypes and the fact that they might overlap into different ones or not fit exactly into every single little box there. The last thing is, we're going to move into read aloud here. We're going to read chapters. Oh, you know what? I don't think we are reading chapters today. I think today is a day that I'm having you guys catch up, preview vocab, and things like that. If I've changed that and I've decided to play a chapter with the guest teacher there, then I do want you to go ahead and use these typical directions that we follow for that, getting everything done with your reader's notebook and everything. But it really just kind of depends on how far we get through some things on Tuesday and how I feel about Thursday. Okay, guys, I appreciate your time. Hopefully this all made sense to you. I'd like you to start applying it into your thinking immediately. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye. Mwah.